What's good, everybody? We are live. We are breaking down this fantastic game between the Boston Celtics and Dallas Mavericks here that just took down. Celtics secure their 10th win in a row, the NBA's best and longest record this season, beating the Dallas Mavericks 138 to 110. And Xavier Tillman came out here and had a masterclass performance for the Boston Celtics and is going to be turning people's heads around on Celtics Nation because he is a true steal, and I am here to break down all of that stuff and more on this live stream here, giving our reactions and your reactions to this Celtics postgame. Once again, I'm Bruce Veliz, and welcome back, guys. But like I mentioned, the Boston Celtics just finished up this fantastic game versus the Dallas Mavericks, in which they absolutely dominated on the offensive side of the glass. We saw fantastic performances from Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, all dominating each aspect of their game, but also a masterclass performance from a guy in Xavier Tillman, who got real deal minutes for the Boston Celtics tonight and showcased what he could bring to this Celtics team. When we get closer and closer to the playoffs, this is necessary for the Boston Celtics to have this front court insurance, and Xavier Tillman proved that tonight, showing that he can be a fantastic passer, a fantastic scorer, and also can lock up some other guards and defenders for the Boston Celtics. And we're going to be diving in all of that and more right here. So first off, let's dive in, looking at the team stats and addressing what was happening between the Boston Celtics tonight. If we want to look and see, the Celtics shot pretty well from the field goal, shooting 55% in total, while also shooting around 48% from the three-point range, which was very great compared to the Dallas Mavericks, 26%. They also shot 100% from the free throw, is what you want to see as a Boston Celtics fan, as we had a little bit of issues with the free throw shooting at the beginning of the year. We want to look at the rebounding. They also out-rebounded the Mavericks 46 to 42, where they did seem to struggle in the offensive rebounding in the first half. They seemed to pick it back up, and the Boston Celtics are going to have that be an issue for them throughout the regular season and the playoffs, but it is something that we're going to have to address and figure out with our rotations. Playmaking was fantastic from the Celtics, as we saw 6 assists from Derek White in the first quarter, nabbing 33 total assists, and also just a fantastic game overall from the team. If we want to look at some of these stats from the Boston Celtics starters, we can see Jason Tatum had a fantastic game, a little quiet in the first half, but in the third quarter absolutely erupted, having a MVP-like performance against another MVP candidate in Luka Donic. 32 total points for Jason Tatum, 3 assists, and 8 total rebounds. Kristaps Porzingis was also getting revenge on his former team, absolutely dominating, being a stretch big, hitting some threes for the Celtics big time early on, 4 from 8 from the three-point, shooting 50%, also 8 for 14 from the field in general, with 6 total rebounds and 24 points. He was an absolute menace and a clear mismatch for this Dallas Mavericks team. Jrue Holiday also started off the game hot for the Boston Celtics, hitting some big-time corner threes that got me juiced. Hitting that deep three, that one fading away outside of in the first quarter, was fantastic. Derek White also had a great game, like I mentioned, 6 total assists in the first quarter with a total of 8. And Jaylen Brown proving the haters wrong, getting a fantastic 360 finish with his left hand, and also completely dominating, hitting 25 points, 7 total rebounds, and 5 total assists, shooting 11 for 20 from the field. But the main man that we want to be talking about on this episode and this live stream here is we're going to be hyping up Xavier Tillman, because man, oh man, he got his run tonight. We did not see Luke Kornet get any minutes for the Boston Celtics, as Xavier Tillman took those minutes from Luke Kornet in the second quarter, and he looked like a beast. 3 for 3 from the field we saw in total, 1 total rebound, 2 assists, 1 block, and 6 total points, but a plus 13, and he definitely deserved those type of minutes. He was looking like a prototypical Al Horford, and I know that I've been preaching about how I think that Xavier Tillman could be this next Al Horford X-type guy for the Celtics, and I see it in the foundation right here. I truly think that Brad Stevens deserves Executive of the Year for pulling off a trade like this, because this is going to ensure the Boston Celtics keeping him for the long term. If you guys did not know, the Celtics have the bird rights for Xavier Tillman, so even though the Celtics will be in some cap issues going into the next offseason, they'll be able to retain Xavier Tillman and extend him regardless, as long as he performs well. And if he's performing like this, then it is a no-doubter that the Boston Celtics need to make this move, because in my personal opinion, he is a fantastic piece. And I think as Al Horford gets a little bit older and gets closer to that bench role, Xavier Tillman can kind of learn from him and translate that game and be our next Al Horford. So offensive game definitely needs a little bit more polishing. Going to have to feel more comfortable shooting that three-pointer. But tonight was the first time he actually got real quality minutes, and he looked like a contributing defender and a effective passer as well for the Boston Celtics. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of the live stream as well. I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions for this Celtics game. We got Stroman saying, let's go JT. I know I'm really very excited for how JT's been playing with this team. I know a lot of people have been hating on him, saying this man can't win MVP, that he's not going to be a contender for that. But I truly think that he definitely deserves to be in that top 5. If we want to look at what Luka Donic also did for the Dallas Mavericks, we have that as well for you guys. We can see that Luka Donic also had a fantastic game, put up a triple-double versus the Boston Celtics, 37 total points, 12 total rebounds, 11 total assists. But the one thing that Jason Tatum did to outperform Luka Donic was play on both sides of the ball. Luka Donic absolutely torched the Boston Celtics on the offensive side, but Jason Tatum was clamping on the defensive side, making sure he was able to lock up your enemies or the opposing best player and was handling that with ease. The one issue that I did see with this Celtics team, and like I mentioned in the intro a little bit, was the Celtics' offensive rebounding and turnovers. It seems like that's going to be an issue going into the playoffs and throughout the regular season. At the end, we'll have to wait and see how the Celtics experiment with kind of fixing that. Maybe Xavier Tillman could be a guy that could help us out on that offensive rebounding board. I know that O'Shea Brissett brings a lot of energy to get offensive rebounds. I know that he is a guy that's a main contributor for that, and so is Neemias Queta, but we did not see Neemias Queta tonight as he was down in the G League playing with the main Celtics, and we'll have to wait and see what his whole ordeal is. I know that I made a video today talking about how Otto Porter Jr. could possibly come into the Boston Celtics. At this current moment, he has not currently been bought out by the team yet, so at this point, we have no idea what is happening with Otto Porter Jr. and with the Celtics' 15th roster spot, but all I know is that Xavier Tillman was a fantastic snipe by Brad Stevens, and in my honest opinion, I think if he translates his offensive game and can learn that three-point shot down like he's been hitting in practice and get some more run with the Boston Celtics, this is going to do wonders. We're going to obviously have to wait and see how much more run Xavier Tillman can get with this team, but I think after tonight, after seeing him get 15 minutes and look like he can be a quality role piece for the Celtics squad, we should definitely expect Xavier Tillman to get a plethora of minutes as well going on in these next couple games. And the Celtics are desperately going to need that as well, as the Celtics have a tough road ahead of us coming up in the next couple games. We have games versus the Golden State Warriors on Sunday, we got a game versus the Cavaliers on Tuesday, a game versus the Nuggets on Thursday, and a game versus the Suns on next Saturday, I believe. So therefore, the Celtics are going to have to use some of these big man lineups going against Evan Mobley, going up against Jarrett Allen, going up against Nikola Jokic. We might get to see more of Xavier Tillman's usage, and that will be beneficial for the Boston Celtics, as that is going to be a key evaluator to see if Xavier Tillman's going to be getting some run in the playoffs for the Celtics, or if he's going to be able to re-sign and be a stable piece in green for the long-time future. I personally think that he's going to be a piece that the Celtics keep. He's already having that great relationship with Al Horford, who I think he clearly resembles in his game style and type of play. And I think a lot of other Celtics fans tend to agree with that as well, seeing that he's been performing at a pretty high level for this team. And I think that he could be a key contributor, like I keep mentioning. I think it's going to work out great, and I think that it'll be fantastic. We also got to see Jaden Springer get some run as well. He scored his first NBA basket, I believe, for the Boston Celtics, which kudos for him. That is fantastic. We saw him get some run in some games, the last 3 games that he's been with the Boston Celtics, but I don't believe he has scored yet, so that is awesome for him. He's a great defensive guy as well. I think he's a little bit of untapped potential that the Celtics have yet to see as well, and we'll have to, kind of dive in and look at that a little bit more often, kind of figure out and see how that can work out with this Celtics core, because I think Jaden Springer could be a guy that could come in and lock up some key defenders, and we saw that as well with Xavier Tillman. I forgot to mention, but Xavier Tillman was fantastic on defense, on the defensive side, having that one block, but also being able to guard a bunch of other big men for the Dallas Mavericks, and also having 2 matchups in the second quarter where he's able to guard Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving one-on-one. If you see that with Xavier Tillman being able to guard guards one-on-one, I think that's just proves to you and proves to myself that he is a key impact defender and will be a key contributor with this team as we just keep getting on into the season, because we have yet to see him get these types of minutes, see his type of exposure, get to see his type of potential. And tonight we got that untapped potential of Xavier Tillman, and I truly think that that's what the Celtics need, is some defensive energy and some defensive prowess, especially with the front court being a little bit thin with Kristaps Porzingis lingering some injuries, with Al Horford needing some rest on some back-to-backs especially. I think that addressing this front court issue was a masterclass move by Brad Stevens, and it ultimately didn't cost us that much either. The Celtics only had to give up 2 second-round picks on Lamar Stevens, and even though Lamar Stevens is having a great role with the Memphis Grizzlies, and I thought he could have been an impact, 3-and-D-esque type player for the Boston Celtics, he truly just didn't really fit into our system because the Celtics already have those dynamic wings in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Sam Hauser had that little exposure and had that explosion this season for the Boston Celtics at that bench position. He kind of flourished with O'Shea Brissett. They could have competed for that power forward position, but a guy like Al Horford, Luke Cornett, Kristaps Porzingis have kind of taken over that big man front court. But now with Xavier Tillman coming in and looking like he could be an impact piece for the Celtics, I think it's going to do wonders for this team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below here in this chat. Let me know what you guys think about this Celtics game. I want to hear your guys' reactions as well and kind of get what you guys had to address and think of this Celtics game, because honestly, being able to beat a team like the Dallas Mavericks, who, have been going on these great win streaks, have been looking like a dynamic team after this All-Star break, with acquiring P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford, who P.J. Washington looked exceptional tonight versus the Boston Celtics. I thought that they were going to be a scary team coming in, and I really thought that this game would be closer. But the Boston Celtics being able to have a dominant win, being able to win by more than 25 points is what you want to see, especially with them controlling teams out west, because this proves to the NBA that the Celtics are a pure domination house and that other teams need to fear us. We clearly are dominating the Eastern Conference, having that 8-game lead over everyone in second place. And these other teams in the Western Conference that we're going to be taking on in the next couple weeks, like the Nuggets and the Warriors and the Suns, are definitely going to have to look out for the Boston Celtics, because if we come into these buildings and we beat them by 15 or 20 plus, it's just putting the league on notice that the Celtics are the most dominant team. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the chat down below here. Give me your guys' thoughts and opinions on this game. I know Luka Donic had a fantastic MVP-like type performance. Jason Tatum, there's been rumors who was the better player. I know on Twitter and with a bunch of Twitter discourse, it's been going back and forth of who deserves to be the MVP. Jason Tatum was ranked above Luka Donic on this week's MVP ladder tweeted by the Dunk Central, and it clearly looks like he's able to perform like that because he had a fantastic performance tonight versus Luka Donic, being able to play fantastic on both sides of the ball, and basically in the first half being a non-factor on the offensive side. He truly erupted in that third quarter, scoring for 19 points and then cooling and helping out the Boston Celtics late in the fourth, where the Celtics were able to, maintain control and be able to keep a big lead over most of these teams in that second half. But like I mentioned, I'm very, very excited about Xavier Tillman. I truly, truly think that he can be a difference maker for this Celtics squad, and I'm just ecstatic to see him get that love. I know his rookie year, he was very, very great on the offensive side of the ball, being able to score at the rim, being able to stretch that three-pointer, and I've seen a bunch of clips from a bunch of Celtics reporters of videos of Xavier Tillman excelling at that three-point shot and being able to drain it in practice. So like I said, if we get to see Xavier Tillman get some more experience and kind of fit into his scheme and figure out his role with this Celtics squad, I truly think that Xavier Tillman's going to be able to eclipse himself and push himself into this playoff rotation, and might even be, a guy, if the Celtics are in the first or second round, that they use on some key matchups. Because with the Celtics having a bunch of flexibility with Xavier Tillman, with Luke Cornett, with Kristaps Porzingis, with Al Horford, depending on their matchups and depending who they see in the playoffs, they can utilize different big men compilations of schemes to be able to affect other opponents. And I think that does wonders for the Boston Celtics as well, because then we're not just throwing the same offense and the same defense and the same schemes at certain teams. It's hard for teams to match and figure out who's excelling with the Boston Celtics. And with the new CBA and the new rules of being able to, not have all these max players and with the luxury tax, you're going to have to kind of find those type of role players or those type of, underappreciated gems that are on their low rookie deals, that are stay ready guys like Xavier Tillman has mentioned, that are ready to go and want to make these key impacts when the Celtics desperately need them, like they did tonight. I truly think that Joe Mazzulla going with a guy like Xavier Tillman over Luke Cornett as well, versus a team like the Dallas Mavericks, who were dominating us on the offensive boards and having a big X factor with Derek Lively being able to score at the rim with ease, was a big example for the Celtics to make. And having him play alongside with Al Horford, I think kind of showed Celtics fans who he really resembles and who he can kind of play like. But let me know what you guys think in the chat down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this post-game live stream with reactions to this Celtics game, breaking down the Celtics and Mavericks, where Xavier Tillman was an absolute steal, and I truly think will be a key difference maker for this Celtics squad. If you guys are new here and want to make sure you stay up to date on any of these Celtics live streams, Celtics videos, Celtics content just like this, hit that subscribe button down below, as we greatly appreciate it. The Celtics stuff is going to be pumping here. Xavier Tillman's looking like a beast, and we're going to be having all of that news to break down, all about Xavier Tillman, all about every Celtics player. And with the 15th roster spot deadline coming up shortly, will the Celtics be able to fill that roster spot? We'll have all the news breaking down on that as well. Like I mentioned, thank you guys so much for tuning in to these post-game live streams, these post-game reactions. We always appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video or post-game live stream, wherever I catch you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace out.